Hi, welcome to the Committed Dreamer. As you can see, my table is covered in some rooted cuttings today. They're all ready for their next stage of life. And while I've been potting up these plants I've propagated, I'm reminded of something I don't talk about often: fear. As I press each little root bundle into its new pot, I'm reminded how fear often feels exactly like this moment of transition. A tug away from what's familiar, a stretch into something bigger, a shift we can't fully predict. You see, I've made some mistakes, real ones, life changing ones, the kind that sometimes stick in your gut. You know what I mean? The kind that make you afraid to try again because you don't want to fail again. And if you're watching this, maybe you know that feeling too. Fear hits differently when you've lived through the consequences of past failures. It's not imaginary and it's not necessarily dramatic. It's certainly not a weakness. It's a memory. These plants have spent weeks suspended between worlds, floating in water, focusing on survival while growing their new roots. And now they're being asked to trust a new medium, a new environment. That's what fear does to us too. It shows up right at the edge of change, whispering that the old container was safer. But growth doesn't happen in the old container. As I settle another cutting into its pot, I can feel my own fears rising just as tangibly as the soil beneath my fingertips. Fear of failing again, because I have, believe me, more than once. Fear of letting people down, of not living up to the hope they place in me. Fear of what people will think when I step into this newer, different version of myself. And the rawest of all, the fear of speaking directly to the camera, of being fully seen while I'm still tender, while I'm still figuring things out. It sits in my chest the way a plant sits in water for too long, suspended, hesitant, unsure if it's ready for the shift. But here I am, potting these little darlings on, reminding myself that roots don't strengthen by staying where it's safe. They strengthen by being placed gently, and yes, imperfectly, into the next stage of growth. And that fear can be paralyzing. These little plants didn't start gently. They started with a cut, a break, a moment that actually looked catastrophic. And honestly, that's how some of my growth has happened too. Not because I was brave, but because staying the same was hurting me more. Roots don't grow in certainty, they grow in the unknown. I've actually spent years worrying about what people think of me, worrying that if I try again, a new dream, a new project, a new version of myself, someone will roll their eyes or whisper behind my back and remember the worst of me. But here's what I'm learning: the people who love you want you to grow, and the people who judge you were never going to nurture you anyway. So when fear comes from your past, don't fight it. Work with it gently. First, acknowledge the past without fixating on it. Yes, I messed up. Yes, I learned. And yes, I'm still allowed to grow. Second, take small, steady actions. Fear can't grow when you've got movement. Even tiny steps count. And third, choose whose voice gets to matter. Not everyone in your life earns the right to shape your self belief. This is what healing looks like. It's not dramatic, it's not perfect, it's steady. If you're afraid because of your past, you're not broken, you're aware, and awareness is your strength. You're not starting from scratch, you're starting from experience, and that is the difference. So if fear is whispering that you'll disappoint people, remember this: the only person you need to stop disappointing is yourself. And you do that by moving forward, by growing. You're ready for more space. You're ready for more light. And your past doesn't get to vote on your future. Thank you for listening. I'm Yvonne, the Committed Dreamer. And if you liked this episode, please do give me a thumbs up. All the best. Bye.